Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about simplifying algebraic fractions. Okay, so this will be O-level stuff. So basically what you're going to learn now is actually tested exactly as it is in O-levels. So there are two types of questions we want to look at today. So it's, you can see that the question is just one word, simplify. So this kind of question. And the other one we're going to talk about is also simplify, but it looks like that. Okay, so before we even talk about all this secondary school stuff, let's jump back to the primary school stuff first. So you can see that over here, we have actually always been simplifying fractions all our lives before secondary school. So let's look at an example. So if you look at primary school, you are often given this 6/30, for example, and you need to reduce it to the simplest term, right? So it's 1/5. So because it's so simple, most people don't actually think about what they are actually doing. So what happens is you are actually rewriting 6 as 2 times 3. In math, we call this factorizing. So we are writing 6 in terms of the factors. And of course, for 30, we're doing the same thing. So it's 2 times 3 times 5. And then you see what happens is we are cancelling the common factors in the numerator and the denominator. So you see that the 2 cancels, the 3 cancels, you're left with 5 below. That's why the answer is 1/5. So actually that is what's happening. It's easy to do with numbers because numbers are just numbers, it's very obvious. However, when we upgrade to secondary school, you see that in Sec 1 we do something like this. So you start to see all these variables x and y, and but the fundamental concept has not changed. So what you see is 9, we are writing as 3 times 3. X squared is basically x times x over here. And then y cubed is 3y times together. And you can see that below I'm doing the same thing. 12 is 2, 2, 3, and then x and y squared. So and you see the 3 cancels, the x cancels, the 2y's and the 2y cancel. So what's left in the numerator is 3xy here. And then denominator is 2 times 2, 4. So actually what we are doing is exactly the same thing. So in Sec 2, actually the math has not changed. So let's come back to Sec 2. You can see that at O levels there are 3 main types. So like I said, the first type is one single fraction that requires factorizing. So that looks like something like this, one single fraction, and then you are simplifying this fraction. The other one will be multiple fractions either multiplying or dividing each other. So example will be this. So you can see that this is 2 fractions and divide each other. It can be divide or times. Okay, so the last type will be actually those involving loss of indices. So this is a Sec 3 thing. We're not going to cover this in this video because this is for Sec 2. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Okay, so for this type of question, the steps are the same. In fact, no matter what question you do, the same. So let's look at the steps first. So creating a single fraction. So it needs to be a single fraction first, and then we're going to factorize the numerator and the denominator, fully factorize. And then we're just going to start cancelling the common factor, just like how we did in primary school math. So let's look at this. So this is already single fraction. You can see that at this stage, it's already single fraction. So the first step is so-called already done. So the next step will be to factorize the numerator and to factorize the denominator. So again, factorization comes into play again. Factorization, very important. So for the numerator, we're just going to do so-called a normal factorization. We're going to take out 3. Take out 3, we're left with 2x minus 1. For the denominator, this is actually cross method. You can see that it's cross method. Okay, so after we do the cross method, we have 2 brackets. If you don't know how to do the cross method, I'll link somewhere here. The video will start appearing at some point. You can click that video and go and learn the cross method. You cannot not know this. Okay, after this, you can see that numerator has a 2x minus 1. Denominator also has a 2x minus 1. And then I'm just cancelling this 2. So I'm left with 3 and x plus 1, and that is the answer. Okay, so when it comes to the second type where there are multiple fractions, so we need to do our first step, right? So the first step is to change it to one single fraction, but we can't do it when it's divided. So what we do is we do our primary school keep change flip, something like that. So we keep the first one, so no change. The divide change to times, and then this fraction we flip it over. Okay, so this one goes up, this one goes down. So at this point, this is times already. So I'm going to do my first step is to make it one single fraction. So just like primary school maths, two fraction time together means what? The numerator times the numerator, the denominator times the denominator. So 2 times 8, 16. A times nobody, still A's cube. B nobody times, still B. C cube, still C cube. So for denominator, 2 times 3, 6. A is still alone, still A. B square still alone, B square, but C I can times, so it's C times C, so it's C square. And at this point, I'm going to start cancelling. I'm cancelling the number first, divide by 2, divide by 2. And then the A, there's a cube, there's a 1 here. So there's 3 on top, 1 below. If I cancel, I'm left with 2 on top. So that's why it's A square on top. So same thing, B, 1 on top, 2 below. If I cancel, left 1 at the bottom. So here, C cube, C square, if I cancel, left 1C at the top. So this will be the answer. So hope you've learned something and you'll see that it's actually still primary school maths. Thank you and bye-bye.